Hey everyone. Just figured I'd do a quick and hopefully not too lengthy overview of the features and my experience with Diablo 4 beta on the early access weekend so far. Don't let my opinions, whether I like some aspects or don't, um, or change how you view the game, especially if you haven't played it yet. Um, so we'll jump right into it. I got a little notepad here to try to get me to focus on most of what I can think of. I might miss some stuff, but that's whatever. So we'll just jump right into it. Um, to start the beta off, there were some server issues, kind of expected to be really honest with you, similar to like Diablo 3. I think at launch, what was that, AR 37? You couldn't even play if I remember right for the first couple days. And then Diablo 2 Resurrected, when it launched, it had a similar thing where the servers were just a gong show, so they had to implement a queue. So that's what happened with this beta on day one. Um, People got on. I think they were playing originally. Then all of a sudden, servers crashed, and there was a queue that was implemented, which sucked. I think I had to wait like an hour and a half at one point to get back on the servers, but is what it is. That's part of the beta. They're testing to see if their servers can even handle the amount of players that are coming in. And next weekend on open beta, it's only going to be more people, right? So potentially next weekend the servers could be just demolished by the amount of people playing. So that was the first thing we experienced with the game. uh, One of the most important parts of the game is going to be your skill tree, of course. Every character has a basic set of skills and a core set of skills. So your basic skills, they're going to be what generates your resource, and your core skills are going to be what spends them. Um, with the demon, or sorry, not demon hunter, the rogue, this is called the agility tree. I believe with the barbarian, it's called the defensive tree, and I haven't had time yet to play the wizard. Um, and then there's also this one here, subterfuge. Imbuement. So imbuement, you add powers to your weapons: shadow, poison, cold, and then you're gonna have an ultimate skill tree, which I assume this is the same for all characters. The subterfuge skills are concealment, smoke grenade, poison trap, dark shroud. I'm not gonna dive into all of them because that'd be a pretty lengthy thing, and maybe that would be just better suited for a separate video. But in each tier of your skill tree here, each skill, you can level it up 5 times, and then you enhance it with one skill point, and then you have a second enhancement. So it's kind of similar to Diablo 3 in the sense that you have ability modifiers in your skill tree, but at least in this version, you are actually selecting the modifiers you want, where and having to put skill points into them, where in Diablo 3 it was just like, yeah, level up, level up, level up, hit level 70 and you get everything. Pick what works best for you and the gear you currently have set up. So there's plenty of options. Like I said, not like Diablo 3 where you just get everything. So there is some decision making. Um, Seems like there is plenty of options, which I just said. So I said that twice in my notes for some reason. Um, Similar to Diablo 3, where you can, yeah. So like I said, similar to the rune system, where you can pick a modified version of your skill. It's just you only have a couple modifiers, where I think in Diablo it was like 6 or 7 rune effects. So there's definitely plenty of options, and I would assume in the end game, in the actual full game, that there's going to be more options for what you pick for skills based off your gear, like your itemization. Like I'm assuming there's going to be legendary effects that affect your skills, similar to like what I've got on now and what I did have on like here, like flurry. So this is just like your character stabs everyone in front of them with a flurry of blades, but if you have the legendary on, it does it in a circular motion. So it does the whole area around you. So, so items will. Sorry for my cough, and I've been sick for a week now. But so items will have an effect on how skills work. So I think the skill tree, it's good, it's interesting, and until the full game comes out, you don't really know what it's gonna be like. Um, so quests, main story, you only get Act One, of course, where it's the beta. Overall, I liked it. I'm not gonna dive into the story. Obviously, like it's got Lilith and Anarius in it. If you've seen any of the cinematics before for the game that Blizzard's released, um, so I think the story's all right, and that plays into the environment as well. Like the environment's dark. The soundtrack, I think, does a good job um, accompanying the environment of the game with the darkness. Where like Diablo 3, it was just everything seemed bright. So they're definitely going back to like a Diablo 4 or Diablo 2 type of scenery. So along with your main quests, you've got a bunch of side quests. Just to pop it open your tab here. So these are side quests here. They don't really have any effect on the storyline of the game. They're more to just keep you busy, give you something to do, and they give you some rewards, I believe. Yeah, like experience, items, material, gold. I can't remember if there's anything else. Um, to go along with that, let's see. We'll just go down the list instead of jumping back and forth and maybe talking about the same thing twice. Uh, there's also strongholds in the game. Like up in this area here, this was a stronghold. Doesn't want to give you the name. I believe there's another one over here, but it's kind of the same idea as like a side quest. You go over there, you defeat a bunch of monsters, and you defeat some main bosses. Then you unlock the area. There is also like your world boss is down in this area. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But there is zone um, events. I experienced one earlier where, similar to the world boss, it calls you up to this stronghold, and basically you just do like a mini quest with a bunch of other people. That was interesting. Then you kill a final boss and you get your items, etc. So we'll just keep going down the list here. Yeah, side quests weren't very important to me. Strongholds, like I was just talking about, they didn't seem like anything special. Just go in, kill whatever monsters are there, kill the final boss, unlock that area, and get some loot. Um, Dungeons, I think, are okay. There's something to do, but they're very repetitive in the sense that you go in, and I think it's like some of them, it's like you go and you have to find a couple switches that open a main door, then you go through the main door, you kill a boss, and then another version is you go in and you have to find a couple altars, take the altars back to some stands, put them on the stands, fight whatever boss, and then that unlocks a door. Like it's very repetitive. There's not much to it. I do believe someone mentioned that dungeons are supposed to be the end game, so if that's what they have to offer right now, I don't think dungeons are anything special. The only real cool interaction I had in any dungeons, I posted another video. It's only like a minute and a half to 2 minutes long. I actually had the butcher spawn in one of the dungeons I was in, and he beat the crap out of me. Like I wasn't a high level, I didn't know what I was doing in the game, so he just stormed after me, and I ran away, and then he disappeared. Apparently, he's got a really really low chance of spawning in dungeons for people. But the only real reward, other than like items, I think you get from dungeons is you get aspects. So these aspects that you unlock depending on your character, like this one's for necromancer, um, this one's barbarian. We'll pop that open in our. I'm trying to remember where we find all of that. Codex of Power in our collection. So as you beat the dungeons, you unlocked all these aspects. So you can take these aspects, and we'll dive into that in a little bit, but you can imbue them onto your weapon. So that's the one I showed you right here. Aspect of encircling blades. Flurry damages enemies in a circle around you and deals 8% increased damage. So that's what I had imbued on this dagger down here. So that's like the only reason I think dungeons will be worth doing. I mean, in their current state, other than like loot. So yeah, dungeons. Maybe they'll make them a bit better. I don't know. They weren't anything special. So what's our next item? Excuse me, sorry, on the list here. Vendors. So vendors, we'll pop this over to the side so I can, oh, sorry. Get this notepad popped over to the side of my other screen just so I can run over to the vendors and show you. So what do we got here? We'll go down the list. So Alchemist. The Alchemist is going to let you upgrade your potions. So you start at one tier of a potion, and then as you upgrade, you get better and better ones. So right now we're on minor, but you start at weak, tiny healing. It's nothing special. It's just like as you progress through the game, you get potions that give you more life, I believe. So you just get more life instantly, and it still does the same maximum. So that's nothing special. You can also craft elixirs, which I think would come a little handy for fighting like bosses. Pop them right before a boss for extra armor and stuff. They don't seem like anything special or like game breaking at the current moment. I'm sure there'll be more in the full game. And you can just take your resources and turn them into what you need for crafting elixirs. So that's the Alchemist. Next up is the Occultist, which actually we'll skip we'll skip the Occultist for a second, and we'll go over. So Blacksmith, basically similar to Diablo 3, repair your items, salvage your items. To get crafting material.
You can take what's left.
Might have just got rid of some good stuff. I can't remember if stuff sitting there was what I was about to switch to. Oh well. But you can salvage everything, repair everything, and in this one you can upgrade your items. So you just put an item on and it'll upgrade its stats. Resistances, armor, whatever stats it's given you. Not that great. Not anything special for a feature. I'm not sure if they're going to add crafting recipes and stuff like that, like Diablo 3 had. So we'll jump from him. Go over. Just have this guy. Just basically sells rings and amulets. Nothing special. And we have a jeweler, similar to D3, where you can combine your gems to make better ones, put them in items to get use of them. No, not really going to bother. Oh, so you can unsocket, add sockets. I didn't try that feature. Didn't realize that was there. So you can, okay, so you can add sockets to everything. That's cool. And upgrade your jewelry, similar to the blacksmith upgrading your items. So it increases the stats. So
Another time.
didn't realize that was there, so that's a little useful. We'll get to the one I think that is the most important to gameplay. It's going to be your occultist. So, like we were saying, you can take your legendary affixes off items. So you would extract it. So you'd put the item in over here, spend a little bit of money, and you pull that legendary affix out of your item. And then you can then imprint it onto a rare item. Okay, I did equip that. So I can take that. I can pick a Codex of Power, the blades, the Blood Surge thing. or I can pick an aspect from my inventory and put it on. It'll show you a preview. It just turns it into a legendary item with that affix. So I think this is going to be your most important aspect of the game, being able to harvest the affixes off legendaries, and I'm assuming uniques. Like there's a legendary item tier, and then I believe in the menu, if you click on one of the difficulties, it'll show that in that difficulty you can get uniques. So I'm assuming uniques will have similar or more powerful affixes that you can extract, or maybe you can't extract them off them. I don't know. We'll have to see when the full game comes out. But this is going to be the most important part of the game, I think. And then that's going to make rares even more valuable because rares can get more, roll more affixes on them. So I think they can roll like 5 or 6, where uniques are like 1 below. So you'll have to search for like those powerful rares or trade for those powerful rares, and then you can imprint your aspect on it. Not sure if there's much more for jewelers. Um, as far as itemization goes, we just touched on the legendary aspects part of it and then printing it onto rares. But you've got your commons, your uncommons, which are your or magic items, which are blue, your rares or your yellow, legendaries, and then uniques. I'm not sure if there's going to be set items in the game or not, but at least in these levels here, it's very linear, where as you kill stuff and you level up, pretty much everything you find's gonna be an upgrade, just because it's gonna do more raw damage or have more armor. So in the beta right now, itemization, hard to tell if it's going to be really good or not, going to be really in depth like other Diablo games, or if it's just going to be very bland, find the most powerful item you can and put it on. But I'm really hoping the imprinting aspects onto rares can add a whole new like flavor to the game and keep it interesting. So that's itemization. Um, just a couple other things like treasure goblins are back in the game. I did run into one while playing. I think I recorded the clip. I haven't posted it yet. Similar to D3, chase after the treasure goblin, kill it, and get some drops. I think I got a couple legendaries out of it, which was interesting and a little fun. Um, in the game, there's also rewards. If we can get that to pop up. Where did we get to that part? Abilities, specializations. How do you get to the rewards? Oh, W.
Not in town.
Okay. W, we're in there. So you can unlock rewards as you play that give your characters experience, items, gold. I think items, gold. But some of them are, I believe, challenges that are for all characters. Yeah, see, it shows you here. Claimed by each character. Bonus gold. Bonus gold or experience. Oh, no, sorry, no bonus gold. Yeah, gold, experience. Jeez. And then some of these are permanent. So, like when you start a new character, you're going to start with multiple skill points and be able to progress easier because you've already got those added stats and whatnot. Um, Another thing is Altars of Lilith. So, not sure if you can click on this to see anything. Doesn't look like you can. But these altars are all over the map. And as you claim them, you get stats for your character, like strength, dexterity, willpower, intelligence. I'm not sure if I'm missing a fifth one, but you gain these stats, and I believe they are for all characters on your realm. I could be wrong, but they had a cool little spin on the game, I guess, where you can just roam around, find these, and get all these free stats for your character. I don't think it's anything special gameplays wise, but it's another aspect that keeps it interesting. Um, I think I already talked about zone events and strongholds. I got to experience one of those earlier. And lastly, um, would have been the world boss. So Ashava, I posted a video of that. Unfortunately, I didn't get to kill her and see how good the loot was that she would drop. But Ashava was definitely interesting. She would one shot you if you didn't stand in the right spot. I didn't understand the trick was that you want to be like right on top of her and behind her, and then she can't hit you with her claws, and you just basically do free damage the whole time. Another thing is, I think if people revive each other, it helps out a bit instead of having to get killed and run down from the top of the map to fight again. But I think overall, like Shava and world bosses, they'll add a cool element to the game where everyone gets to show up and interact with each other and get some good loot out of it. Um, for the beta weekend, it was like what, 4 appearances, which I didn't feel like was enough because if you didn't get a kill it, it kind of felt disappointing. But overall, I did enjoy the world boss. I think it was a cool experience and cool addition to the game. Um, lastly, just overall, how did I find the beta? I'd say I really enjoyed it. I'll be playing it again next weekend for sure. Um, I fully leveled my rogue. I started leveling a barbarian, and then I'll probably play sorcerer as well. I think necro and druid are available next weekend, so I probably won't get to play them all, but I'll play 3 or 4 of them. Overall, though, I think the beta is pretty good. I think the game's gonna have a lot of options. I don't know how many of the options are gonna lead into the end game and what the end game's gonna be because no one should, unless you've played closed beta. I don't know what closed beta is like, but no one should really know what the end game's gonna be. So don't take this video or your gameplay for what 3 days as a full experience of the game. Because it just isn't the full game. It's one act, and everything's subject to change too, right? It's just a beta. So overall, though, I enjoyed it. Hope everyone else that got to play this weekend or is going to play next weekend enjoys the beta. Um, but yeah, it's definitely interesting, and I'm excited for the full game to come out. Um, so if you guys like this video,
Greetings.
hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I am going to try to stream on Twitch here and there, so I'll post my Twitch account link in the description for the video. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys later.